All right, so this is for me. This is what rank and Omen.
Uh, this is yeah, Omen, and I think I'm Plat 1 here. Plat
Okay,
1, Plat 2.
okay. Plat, Omen, and Bradborygmos. Is that how you say it?
It's like Bradborygmos, but
Okay,
Brad is
sorry.
fine. You're
All
good.
right. Now, before we
Yes.
start, do you have any questions at all, or like what do you want to get the most out of? Like, where do you think is lacking the most in your gameplay?
Um, I would say I feel like especially in my experience, it's like when I go into like deathmatch and stuff,
Uh-huh.
my shots and stuff are pretty consistent, and I feel like my aim is actually pretty good, but
But it doesn't
I'm
translate in your comp games.
correct.
Okay.
And I think that's more of like a positioning utility usage,
Okay.
just like bad taking fights, not playing with teammates, those kind of things.
Cool. Let's take a look then. I think this buy is fine. Pistol round, honestly, ghost flash or ghost. I mean, armor flash. It's all fine. It just matters like what's comfortable for you and kind of what angles you'll be taking, right? Like, um, if you were to play C and watch C long, maybe you can make the argument to get a ghost, right? Because you'll have the advantage here.
Yeah.
It's just long range and stuff like that. This is like the only thing I consider on pistol round is uh, where I'm playing and how my first round buy translates to that, right?
Mhm.
Uh, but if I was watching like very long angles, I would probably pick up a ghost. Okay, nice. All right, so one thing I think we're playing pretty well right now, and we're handling it properly. Like when you lose garage control and they're coming from C long, you're just getting overwhelmed, and there's not much you can do, right? I mean, maybe you can, yeah, sure, flash down C long and maybe get a kill there, but you'll probably just end up getting traded out. So I think like giving it up in that scenario is perfectly fine, especially because they kind of beefed it in garage, and now you guys are retaking as three, and this is fine. But the problem is that I would have waited. I would have told Sova just to wait just like 1 or 2 seconds, right? Because look, your flash is going out right now, right? But your jet's still in CT. So whenever we're retaking, you always want to make sure that it's at the same time. Because you do not want a scenario where they are here and here and they kill you guys coming out garage and then they all turn to kill the jet. They want to make it so these guys have multiple threats at the same time. So if they do kill you, Jet can kill them in the back of the head, or if they look at Jet, you can kill them in the side of the head. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So, good stuff. I have no idea what this Sova is doing.
Yeah.
He should have been fighting with you, and I think you played the pistol round fine. It just looks like a standard pistol round. I don't think you made any glaring mistakes.
Is there well I guess my question is did you or do you have a main agent that you play?
Yeah. Uh, well, I primarily played the most games with Rays,
Okay.
but anything that kind of is an entry fragger, or lately I've been taking up just Sky. I've just been playing Sky only for a while now.
Nice.
But I'm typically either the first one in or the second one in, regardless of agent. You know.
Hmm.
So it's like Phoenix, Raze, Sky to help entry, or I just entry myself with my own flashes. But yeah, I'm typically the entry.
Now, my question was mostly because you were talking about timing with like the Omen flash and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, should I really try to find the open spot to be able to flash, which I find incredibly difficult, or should I just like instead of trying to flash there, just be like focusing on like swinging with my Sova? Because I feel like
No, your flash is
when
way too strong there. And no, you did it fine, right? Because
okay.
Omen shouldn't be first one in. He's always like, for example, Omen is on split. You know, when you're
Mhm.
sitting in sewer and you're about to flash up to a ramps,
Ramp. Yep.
or you're in market at mid and you flash up to heaven.
Mhm.
Right, you provide so much for your team, but it kind of seems like you're baiting in a way. But that's just Omen's role, right? Setting up smokes, because you can't set up smokes while being the number 1, 2, or even 3, right? Like you have
Mhm.
to be in a safe spot to set up your smokes because it really debilitates you. So it's fine, right? And you just have to hope that your flash provides the safety for the people going in because you just don't want to miss it, you know.
Mhm.
So I would definitely just wait until everyone's in position and flash, and then don't worry about it because that's just what you're supposed to do. You know, you're not baiting, you're not supposed to be trading like that. It's just not your job. So on these on these eco rounds, we definitely want to use our smokes to force close range situations, right? Like if I were holding C and I only had like a pistol or a shorty, I'm smoking up here and playing on top of the box or behind the smoke or even in the smoke, and hopefully I don't get spammed out, right? Because the problem with this smoke right here is uh, they just walk through it, right? And then if they walk through it, you don't have an advantage on them because you don't have the gun to translate that advantage, right? Because yeah, sure, walking through a smoke is bad for them, but if you don't have the firepower to punish them for it, then it's not really an advantage. Make sense?
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
no, go on, tell me.
I was gonna say I usually just do that smoke as like a default like deny info kind of thing. So it's not necessarily like a like they don't know if I'm pushing up like C
Okay,
or not
that
kind of thing.
so if that's the idea, then somewhere on this defensive side, I want you to actually push up, right? Because it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense if we never push up, because then it's never a threat to them.
Yeah. They never have to respect it.
Exactly. They never have to respect. So we have to give them something to respect. So that's fine, right? If we throw it every
Mhm.
round, but we have to utilize it somewhere and sometime.
Mhm.
And maybe on this pistol round, uh, you could either play close to the smoke or walk through it. And if they're going A, you just take the orb and then you just get a flank, maybe. So there's
Mhm.
a couple of arguments here. Okay, good smoke. Don't have to worry about that. I'd be a little worried about using my flash here because what is $200, $300?
400 now, actually.
400. What?
Yeah. Yeah, since
Okay.
the like nerf when they like balanced out Brim and Omen, they like made you can't do like Flash Ghost anymore or anything like that. It sucks.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I'm behind.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all
So
good.
then the armor flash buy is just completely
Yeah,
stronger in my book. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So and that being the case, I probably would not throw my flash right here. Unless we get some miracle like 2 kills, I'm not using my flash. There's no way. It's just way too expensive to throw here. Unless we really think we have a good shot of winning, but Reyna's about to just die. Yep.
yeah. Don't remember if I flash here. It looks like I'm gonna die to this jet in like 2 seconds. Oh, nope.
Whoa! Whoa! Okay, this is where I'd flash, right? Now this round is winnable. You're getting healed. You have a Spectre. It's 3v2. If you guys just trade properly, like Sova's in sight right now. Like you need to get in there, right?
Mhm.
This is worth spending that $400, right?
Yeah.
And you notice this too. You see how you pull it out, so this is good. See, I would flash the smoke. It was very good. Let's go. That was so good. That was so good. I think you played that so well. And on these anti-eco rounds, we do not want to play aggressive because why? Why do you think?
They have better guns.
Anti-eco, so like they're on eco, we have guns.
Oh, you don't want to get caught out and give them a gun.
Correct.
Right?
And the closer range they are, they have the opportunity to swarm you, to just trade you out, and that trade isn't equal, right? Because you're losing heavy shields Spectre, right? And they can pick up the Spectre. So it's definitely, we definitely want to keep our distance on these anti-eco rounds, and not let them swarm us. And there's another topic of discussion is when picking up guns is being mindful of what you're leaving on the floor, like the Spectre. Like I don't think there might be a good opportunity somewhere here to hide that Spectre just a little bit better, you know. But right now there's just a free Spectre on the floor. That's a pretty common path if they were to rush C on you. So it's a small minor thing, but it should be in the back of your head on what guns you're leaving on the floor and what guns does the enemy have. Yeah, so now like if we have to probably like give up, yeah, we have to give up garage, and now one
There's
of these
Spectre
there's
in
a
there.
Spectre right there, and maybe one of them will run over it, and you never know, maybe that stops your clutch or something, you know. That's a bomb. They have to go grab that. Pretty difficult to hold right there. Probably gonna get flashed.
30 seconds left.
Or just smoke. They picked it up. Not a big deal. There's no way that they just come C. They're probably just gonna book it to A. Or on A side of B, and then just plan for A link. But this round is completely winnable. We just have to go right now.
Yeah, I think I take my time too much here.
Yeah, I mean, if so, when the bomb was down right here, right, you have to understand the enemy's mindset is to either they don't care and they're gonna try and kill you, but the fact that no one is peeking you right here and then they just took the bomb, I don't know if you saw it, but you have to understand that they're going to be like, okay, Omen is C. What? It's so obvious that they're just going to run far away from you and not chance it, right? Because they're probably not all healthy. They probably all don't have armor because it's an eco round for them, and they probably have bad guns, or maybe one, maybe not, because they just killed other people. But you never
Maybe
know.
they have like a Phantom Inspector.
So they're playing safe, exactly. So they're playing safe, and with my mindset, I would either try and watch the bomb, and if I can't watch the bomb because it's too risky, then cut off, start either pre-rotating or cut off their rotation.
God, that would have been so sick to, like, once I see the bomb there, maybe just start playing towards
Yes,
A.
yes, absolutely. There is very big ideas for leaving the bomb and pre-positioning yourself on where they're gonna be. For example, if you got that Sage kill and then you continued walking B and you noticed that the bomb was down, right? This flank could win you that round because it's just such a smart play, right? And there's no way that they're going to expect you to leave the bomb and reposition like this, right? Because the problem with watching a bomb that's down is, depending on where it is, it can be bad for you, right? Because this bomb down right here is so difficult to hold, especially when they know exactly where you are. It's so difficult to hold that most players, they just cling on to it and end up losing the round because they think that's the right play. But sometimes giving up the bomb and position like one step ahead of them, right? Very good ideas there, and it can sometimes win you very crucial rounds. But after...
Yeah, especially now, it's like
right
pretty
here,
obvious.
Yeah, right here, I'm wasting no time, and I'm running directly to the bomb. Sure, it's going to be difficult, right? You gave up the advantage, you gave up your positional advantage, and now you just have to be like, okay, I have to kill 3 and defuse the bomb. You have to give yourself enough time to do that. Walking here, sure, it's pretty scary because you don't know where they are. But at this point, we have to understand what is probable, right? I am never checking that. I don't care about here. I don't even care about window. I'm just getting, because they're probably what? 1 short, 1 long, 1 hell. Or here, you know, just the common spots. This is
you could have like
probable.
hell graffiti and 1 person watching lobby from long.
Exactly. So, or 1 person flank, or 1 person can be a rat. But these are gambles you have to take because right now you're at a disadvantage, and to balance out and give yourself enough time, we have to play quick. Right? If we don't want to put ourselves in this position, then we have to do something prior, like pre-position, you know, stuff like that. But now, living in the moment, what we have and what we can do is play fast, give ourselves enough time, and just kind of picture where the enemy is going to be, right? All this walking nonsense, right? It's just wasting time.
Yeah, I'm even like shift walking with my...
Exactly. It doesn't matter, right? And it doesn't matter if they know where you're coming from, because the time saved is much more important than stealth, right? This is a big problem in this elo about winning clutches, doing retakes, is that people play overly scared and they don't give themselves enough time to win the round. And lots of times people just give themselves enough time to kill all 3, but that doesn't matter if you can't defuse it.
Yep.
Right? And we just have to run more. Like, if we're truly playing for the round win, right? There's arguments to just damaging their economy.
Saving the Phantom here.
Or just saving, right? But if we are making the decision to win the round, we have to go quick, right?
Yep.
And we can win this round. It's definitely possible, right? Because they probably don't have armor and the same, you know, stuff we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
We just quickly clear everything. Yep. We check close right. Yep. That's fine. Little problem is, this can cut off a lot of the areas for us, like here or here, and then we don't have to worry about this when we're walking up, and then we could check close right, back sight, graffiti, CT, tap it, watch the smoke, etc. But who knows, that maybe we would have had a little bit more time to set up smokes if we just ran the whole way, you know. So it's a butterfly effect.
Yeah, it's like one bad decision is
Exactly.
just cascaded.
So now we're like wasting time on the heaven, like he's just wasting your time. See, like, we shouldn't even have to worry about heaven at all, like, in this 2v1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Just lost and got no value.
Yep, and this is... And that's just a butterfly effect of not giving ourselves enough time and, like, to actually win the round. And it's difficult. I'm not saying it's easy, right? But if you are to make that decision, I'm not saying never make that decision. I'm not saying always make that decision. I'm just saying if you do make that decision to win the round and you want to play for that win, you have to always prepare. Like, okay, I'm so far away. Like, when they planted the bomb, you are here. And all that time getting there, the bomb is going to be ticking, and you have to kill 3. And then while you're running there, you think, okay, what utility do I have? How do I make it easier for me? Blah, 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 right?
Yeah, I guess my train of thought is like instead of thinking ahead to like how do I win this round, it was like okay, let's try not to die to people on the way there and then see if we can get a kill
Yeah,
kind of thing.
and that that can hold some merit, but the probability of them being in these places are low, right? They'll just
Mhm.
travel as a team, they'll plant the bomb, and they'll play safe. And we we saw that, like one site, one heaven, and we could have guessed that, right?
Yeah.
And uh, we don't have to be diligent and clear every single corner. Sure, you're gonna die sometimes because of it, but then you go in all chat, call them a rat, and you move on.
Yeah.
Right? But and if you are too scared and you think it's too hard to do it, no one's gonna be mad at you for saving in a 1v3 when the bomb is planted and you're half across the globe. You know?
Mhm.
Joke's over! You're dead! Shut that. Cover going out.
Okay, so this is a mistake. It C long is not something we should ever just dry peek, because we never ever know how many people are going to be waiting for us here. For these long angles, we have to utilize shoulder peeking. See what we see and we can react properly, especially when we're a character like Omen that has a flash and TPs, right? So, for example, I mean, this is just one person, right?
Yeah.
But in most cases, it will be multiple people. And there'll be a guy here. There'll be a guy here. Best case scenario, there's only one. But worst case, there's actually like a 3-2 split. Right?
Yeah.
Or 5 man running up C long. Right?
Yeah.
So, we don't need to dry peek. We never need to dry peek. Your best friend is jiggle peek this, get the info, react. For example, on A long as well, right? I mean, it's a kind of difference because you get to the angle first and you can see them cross, and it's a bit safer. But for like mid stuff like that, we have to be jiggle peeking before we're swinging, because this will happen to you every time, and this is just even one person, and it's definitely not good. We want to jiggle peek, get the info, react, right? Because if there's multiple people, then they're gonna start running. Boom, you flash, and that's proper.
Yeah,
procedure.
you probably get
exactly
one, maybe two,
exactly
and then probably live as well.
exactly. And dry peeking is, shoulder peeking is free. It's very safe. Unless they're just aiming at the corner of the wall and they have a godlike reaction. You get free info. And I guarantee if you jiggle peek this Omen, he runs. He's like, oh shoot, my plan is foiled, Or he doubles down and just runs forward. But if he runs forward, he's dead. Right? So... And not only that, like, I didn't even talk about the probability of people opping, right?
Yeah.
And that stops getting opt, is jiggle peeking.
Do you mean like the jump knife swing
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Or do you mean like the...
Both.
Okay, either or.
Yeah, I wouldn't do, never do just one. Right? Because you don't, like, let's say you jiggle peek that corner 10 rounds in a row. You think they're not going to just, like, have their crosshair taped on that corner and be ready?
Yeah.
Right? So, sometimes jump, sometimes jiggle, do both in one round, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Both very good options. But make sure your character can see the
Yeah, you're
angle.
playing for the mini-map, not for your own
Exactly.
vision.
Yeah. And there's different peaks, there's a bunch of different tools to, but what's the baseline importance is the info you get. Yeah, I like this. I like this idea of backing out because we don't have a flash to kind of take control of Garage. And Garage is actually very difficult to hold, especially with no utility. So this is, I think this is a very good play, very defensive. You make your call out. The Reyna did not need to peek that, so because this is way too aggressive. Because look, you know, exposed from long, and he's taking additional fights where he doesn't need to. Because if he does walk out, you actually have him. Right, so this is just an over-aggression, and there's nothing you can do about this, right? And you just hope he just continues swinging like he does. But it was a good trade.
I did not react fast enough to that.
Yeah, I think we were kind of like looking at the mini map, kind of spacing out a little bit. But the thing is, like, so we have info on Jet, and that's it, right? We know it's walled off though. My first reaction is not to help mid. It is to be worried about this, or worried about this, because we don't want to give up map control, right? Because you saw, like, this is a good spot for us, and it holds this, and we get a bunch of info. But the second we move over to here, now we're like, oh, okay, nothing mid, it's already walled off, or okay, I go back. Now you're worried about there, and now you're worried about like here, right? And we just like, everything's just a big question mark now.
Yeah.
So we just need to not be quick to give up map control. There, you know, our crosshair placement was just low. We were zoning out a little bit, and they end up going Garage anyway. But the Omen went through Garage, right? So they had Garage.
Yeah.
We just don't know. We only knew that Jet was here. We don't know where the other person was. So we can assume that maybe he was with either Jet or was with Omen, right? But mid's covered and it's walled, so we don't necessarily need to stop what we're watching. It's a minor thing, but positional-wise, we want to quickly analyze what's our potential danger, what is my job, and what do my teammates rely on me to do. And that's, you know, watch what I'm watching. So you see how we're constantly smoking the bottom of C, but we're not really getting anything from it.
Yeah, we haven't
utilized it.
Yeah.
At all. Okay, so when exiting Garage, there's a checklist, right? And it's hard to tell if it's an actual A hit or just Arena trying to fish for kills or do whatever and see how much you can get, or if they're rushing or not. But we don't want to lose the default. So here, this is the first prio of checking, right? And you do that fine. The next is this corner right here. Next is close right. You hug this door and you check close right. Okay? Then you see nothing. Okay? Then you look here. Then you look here.
I feel like I've ignored like 3 different spots here.
Yeah, yeah. And until you know that it's a bona fide A rush, I think you have to clear these angles. But if you see like 3 question marks or 4 question marks, you could probably assume that no one's going to be grass staring at Garage, right? But I don't know that yet, so I'm actually clearing because I don't want to lose the default because I over-aggressed improperly, right? So yeah, like I said, this, and then window. Right, and you
I
can
think
even,
I was just dead set on if someone was holding, they were holding from window, but
True.
that's just not the case.
It's just yeah, and sometimes you're right. Sometimes you'll be right. But here, we don't have to get punished in this situation for me to see that this is a mistake, right?
Mhm.
Because if they were just playing a really aggressive default, and Reyna gets a kill and thinks maybe A is free, so maybe he can get that first team, and then his team starts rotating over because Reyna got it, or it's just an A rush and this is safe, but we do not know, and we always want to side on the air of caution, right?
Yeah.
And then after window, close left. By the way. So now it's safe. Now it's definitely, with this information you gathered, it's probably safe to assume that it is just an A rush.
Spike planted.
Yep. Now.
Last player.
This is gonna happen, and this could have been avoided. How do you think?
Uh, Going long?
No, same thing would have happened, just different person you would have seen.
I guess I could have TP'd to B-Link or walked up mid.
I'll give you a hint. Has nothing to do with your abilities or your movement.
Pathing then? It's got to be because I was hugging the close wall,
Nope.
and I should have
That's fine.
been no.
No, it's fine. What? This is-
Crosshair placement.
Nope. Nothing.
I got nothing then.
Your microphone. What do you think you should have said?
Flanking.
Yes.
Hold?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't peek. Wait for my flank. Right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Because you want it to be a unified assault.
So you can punish them for
Yes.
like swinging one angle.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. You don't want
Okay.
it to kill the first assault and then realize, okay, we killed those guys. Where's the last one? Oh, he's probably flanking. And then they all turn. Right?
Mhm.
You want it to be like, oh my god, pushing CT. Oh my god, pushing heaven. Wait, there's one flank, you know?
Yeah, and then create as much chaos as you possibly can at one
Exactly.
point.
You don't want your... If you can't flank faster without giving up your spot, then you have to tell them to slow down. I don't think running here is the correct play. But if we can't run and we want to be sneaky because sneaky will actually net us a kill, then we have to tell them to wait for the flank. I have a big flank. Wait.
Mhm.
It's huge. It's ginormous.
Yeah, Rain is already dead.
Player standing.
Now they're worried about flank.
Yeah, so it's just...
Last player
No, it's not coordinated. It's not coordinated.
Is that something in like higher ranks where you just gotta do the best of your ability to get everyone on the same page, and if they're not, they're not. But
Yes.
at least you try.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
If they don't listen to you, then there's nothing you can do about that.
Mhm.
But the problem is, people assume that they're just not going to listen, and they don't comment anyway. They're just going to be like, "Oh, they're not going to care. They don't." But that's not the case, right? So what I tell people is, always communicate it, always say it, never assume, and then if they don't listen, you couldn't have done anything else. But in that situation, we could have used our mic. Do what we can for our sake, and then worry about the rest later, right?
Going down.
Just do everything in our power.
Yeah, what variables do you control?
Exactly. You can't make them listen, but not all the time people will be like, screw this guy, I'm not going to listen to him. If you say,
Mm.
if you make sense of things and you tell them, wait, don't push yet, I have a big flank. What are they going to say? No, dude.
Yeah.
Right?
Sorry, already fighting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I have to go in right now. People are natural followers. If you sound confident in yourself and you enunciate, and just talk clearly, they're gonna respect it. They're gonna listen. Same thing with calling strats. How many times versus how many times do they listen? Where when you call a strat and everyone's just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Most of the time, I'm like, okay, let's try it. Let's do it, right? And if they don't say anything or they don't affirm you, they'll just go with the team anyway, right? Some
Yeah.
people will listen and then people will just follow, and it usually goes well. Like 80% of the time, 80 to 85% of the time, when I call a strat or make a call out, people listen, right? Because people like to follow.
Yeah.
And you're going to get the one person that maybe will just flank or lurk, and that's fine. If you have 4 people listening, then it's fine. But I do what I can with my voice,
Mm-hmm.
Communication is ginormous.
Player standing.
Especially in these pug situations where you have to, if it's just solo queue, right? Everyone doesn't know each other, right?
Yeah.
And who wins is who plays together the best. Unless, there's like a smurf on the other team or some guy's popping off or whatever. But whoever team plays together the best will win. They play off each other, they retake together, they execute sites together. Like, they seem unstoppable. And if you can get random people to do that with basic strats, you're going to dominate solo queue,
Mm-hmm.
Alright. So... this is just an eco round, Not much you can do here. A little whiffage, but...
I feel like, because both times I feel like I've gotten got, I should just be holding more of an off angle there, right?
Absolutely,
Like,
yeah.
in both times. Like, I'm holding super tight, so they're just gonna Ferrari peek me and I'm just gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, every time.
It's difficult to win these situations, right? Like, staying close, holding, like, right here with a right click right in his head ready, probably a lot stronger than holding these corners. And you were kind of there, right? But...
God, he just wide swung, just
Yeah.
going for the heavens.
yeah.
Spike planted.
It's just an eco round. It doesn't make it
Yeah.
not that big of a deal.
I am not just a shadow. Cover going out.
Stealing sight.
Shadows traveling.
This is good.
Revealing area. Take flight.
Okay, so I typically hold garage as well. So this is very minor thing, but you will get burned by this. So when you spam garage and you hide and reload, this is the opportunity for them to creep in. It's not a mistake to do this, but when you do hide and you give up that line of sight and you reload, pre-aim right here.
I feel like this is some foreshadowing here. I don't remember this game, but I feel like I definitely have swung that angle before and just
Because
died.
this is a big mistake. They reload, they give up that line of sight, they hear you reload, they creep in, you pre-aim at the doors, and then they shoot you here. And this is a very common thing you see in garage, and it happens to me all the time too. But I've learned that first you have to re-clear, right? But we didn't even give it the time of day, right?
No charges.
And then I just exposed it there too.
Yep. So
Mm,
when people make the call, it's probably A. Pretend like they didn't say anything at all, because that's what they call. They calm. They say it's probably A. That doesn't mean anything to you, because does he see anyone? What, are all 5 walking short? Like, what is this call, right? Probably A, right? Yeah, it doesn't see anything here, doesn't see anything here. This is wall, so you have no info. They could be walking up, walling over it. You just have to always say to yourself, where could they be? What is possible? Right? And it's easily possible for them to actually be garage. Or here.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes the most sense.
Yeah, and you don't have to overthink it. You don't have to know exactly where they are. You just have to think what is possible for the enemy team. What is possible for them? So, if
Was Jet not shooting at anyone or anything?
I can't hear that. So, and I don't know, right? But they could be all.
Yeah.
Let me just draw my marker of everywhere they could be. Here, here, here. I'm gonna make it a little smaller. Here, 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 here. Probably even here, depending on timing. And here.
Yeah.
So in my mind, this is what happens. I say, this is where they can be. This is what I will be ready for. Until I have more info. Not half-assed calms by my team. They're probably A. It's just a guess. Like, the people at the start of the round, they're like, oh, they'll probably go B this round. It means nothing. That means nothing.
Yeah.
Right? So, this... practicing this will help you stay alive. And staying alive means you have opportunities to get kills, right? So they just walk the garage for free and shoot you right in the head. And this is just, you know, an awareness thing. And now, all it takes... Oh, it's probably A, but they... 1 kill in garage and the whole team's rotating to C. What is happening, right? So this is definitely just... we need to work on awareness and... just overall safety, staying alive. What's possible for the enemy team? What can kill us? What can kill us? Constantly ask yourself that. What can kill me? If it's possible, let me entertain the possibility. Right?
Mm.
Let me be ready for it.
Cover going out.
You will not kill my allies.
Not a fight we ever want, right?
Yeah.
Definitely not. TP away. Screw that. Yeah.
Spike planted.
Okay, so Flash is good. He probably got a kill from it, but no communication with the Flash. We have to calm all of our flashes. I mean, unless you're using it selfishly, right?
Yeah.
We have to calm it. Because you don't know if your teammate's ready. You have to be like, Reyna, I'm gonna flash graffiti right now, okay? 3, 2, 1, flash. Right? Practice doing that every single game when you use your flash with your teammates. This will build very, very good habits. Watch Hiko stream and tell me if they just flash without saying anything. Right?
Yeah, he's always
He's
flashing
always
flashing
calming
long.
it. Flashing long, flashing this corner, bang. He even says bang when it pops, you know? Like,
Mhm.
you don't have to do that, but you can say, okay, flashing, 3, 2, 1, right? And then that amplifies the effectiveness of all of your abilities. Mainly flashes, though, right?
Mhm.
Because A, it can stop team flashes. B, it can set up kills for your teammates.
Planted.
And that's the difference between a Radiant player and you. They'll throw the same flash. But the Radiant player will use his mic to tell him.
Mm-hmm. Is there merit to waiting for Sova to get
Yeah,
up?
absolutely. But it's not going to be a perfect world always. Because for Sova to really utilize your flash, you would have to jump out. And that's not realistic, you know? It could be. But this flash is more so for Reyna.
Yeah, it gets Reyna into the site,
Exactly. Right?
which helps us.
Exactly. And then when you guys are in the site, Sova has the freedom to peek without being just blasted.
Last player standing.
And I mean, that's perfectly fine, right? It's just a eco round or a half buy round. That jet's cracked.
Them out. Shadows traveling.
Okay, this is not really a flash angle. Because we're in trouble here. Like, if they swing us, we're dead. Right? Unless, I mean, you guys are playing 2 garage for whatever reason. But this is definitely not an angle we want to be. Like, this is a flash angle, right? Hiding behind here, juggle peeking, and then seeing and then flashing. Right? Because they can't get to you quickly. But here, if they creep out of the smoke, you're dead. If they run out, if they wide swing the smoke, you're dead. You're so close to them that we're not actually playing for our flash right here.
Stealing sight.
Okay, so we just threw that out, right? It can slow down their push a little bit, and it's probably not the worst thing in the world. But
Down mid.
I would probably get a little bit more for my flashes if I could.
Yeah, I think my logic was to slow down the push onto B.
That's
and
not bad.
Give my teammates a couple seconds to kind of get in position.
It's not bad.
But
I'm not saying you should have changed anything there.
enemy, just one enemy displaced.
Yeah.
No,
See,
no flash.
it's just a weird flash. Not necessarily bad. It's just weird. There's definitely merit to slowing down their push so you guys can get a better position inside B.
Oh, one more. Two.
Shadows traveling.
No need to. You top.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, we don't need it. We don't need our own. Yeah.
No.
Easy round. It's good that you're reactive with the smokes to help out other sites. Very important.
You're dead. Cover going out. Blinding.
So we hear Phoenix ult, we get a little spooked, and then we back up and have our flash ready. But flashing and not peeking doesn't make too much sense here. Because let's think of 2 scenarios. We flash and we retake garage control and we kill the ult and make sure that we stop the rush, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or we run away from the ult.
But we still have a flash.
But we still have a flash, right?
Yeah.
So we flash and then run away anyway. So, right, it's just conflicting ideas. So when we drop that flash into garage, we are saying, no, you guys are rushing garage, but I'm retaking this bitch, right? I'm holding it. You're baiting him into the trap, you flash them, and then you retake that control. Or you give it up completely and then play like C with your teammate and just watch the window jump up, etc., right? But we did both ideas at the same time. So one grass, one entering garage, probably on C.
Spike planted.
So this is definitely. What do you think Jet should be saying? What do you guys should be saying? Right. Retake together. Wait for the flank. Yeah. Etc. You have plenty of time. You have res. Where can we res? Here. Maybe we play for that. Can we make a play where all three of us go here, and we res that and bait the body, or do we don't have wall, so we can't wall, right? But if you smoke, like here or something, or like you aggress and then make sure they can res safely, like this is a play, right? This is what's going through my mind right now, and we have time to think. We're slowed off. We're waiting for the flank. Now we have to formulate a plan. We have two teleports and a ult. We can get info with this ult. We have Sage Res. We have the dead body here. All of these things are going through my mind right now, and I'm just trying to formulate a smart plan. So, dies for free. There's two people around him, but no trade. So, a bit odd. So, what happened here with the res could have happened right here with someone else, right? I mean, you can't force them to play together, but it is just weird that Sova dies for free right there. So this is playing together. This is really good. Oh, they think that's the diffuser, maybe.
I think we lose this round.
Last player standing. One enemy remaining.
Yeah, that's just tough. That's tough. Very difficult situation to deal with.
I feel like me dry peeking that though too was kind of bad.
So,
because like if I'm alive to smoke that, I think we have a much easier time winning.
yeah, that's definitely a good idea. That's definitely a good idea.
Like where my teammates are, and I just swung long where no one can trade me.
Yeah, very good. See, it's very good to catch your mistakes, and when you die in game, try to do what you just did right now. Try to see how you could have played it better. Like mini coach yourself during these rounds, right? It's like, oh, what could I have done different? Look at your abilities. And like 8 seconds left, look at the mini map. Like, oh, I did not need to swing that, right? Don't be like, guys, why aren't you peeking with me? Wow,
yeah.
Right? That's a typical response of a soul cure. But someone who is getting better at the game and learning says, what could I have done differently? Oh, I could have waited just a second longer for these guys.
I could have also, if I knew they were both long, I could have just TP'd.
Exactly.
Since Jet ended up going garage.
Yeah. Exactly.
A lot of options.
A lot of options, right? But we chose the die option.
Yeah. Which coincidentally cuts off all options.
And if we didn't die right there, you see how close it was? One person alive and the bomb wasn't halfway. We could have somehow won this round if we played a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Right?
I think if I live I mean, obviously if I live, but like if I live for another 15-20 seconds, I think we probably win that round or have
Absolutely.
like an 80% chance to win.
Absolutely. And I think even if you lived for 8 more seconds so your smoke was up, you win.
God, I realize how much I quick switch, and I need to stop doing that. It's
Yeah.
obnoxious.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have your gun out, so you can't trade, and it's kind of scary. Okay, this is alarming, right? All 5 long, no one cat. I mean, sewers.
Yeah, no one short.
Yeah, and I would definitely like. It's not the worst thing in the world, but you have to understand that this isn't clear, and everyone on your team has to understand that this isn't clear. And it gives you such less site control that you should definitely tell your teammates that if you were to go a 3-2 split or something like that, right? Because now you're forced to be like, oh my god, no one went sewers. Now you go sewers.
Yeah, and I'm late as well.
You're late. There's no one to trade you. Very difficult to utilize your flash here. This is scary. Dead. How?
What do you mean? The
You're dead.
From the angles. The
Dead right
close
here?
angles.
Right?
Mhm.
So this is priority 1. Priority 2. Priority 3. 4. 5. 6.
I guess in my head, since I was late, I thought maybe the person short was already like would be so caught up with what's going on
Yeah.
long,
Yeah,
right?
and most of the times it is. But we don't want to gamble that sometimes. Like, we don't want to get punished by unpredictable play.
Yeah, it's different from the situation where like you were talking about before where I was in like a 1v4 and
Yes.
you were like, yes, you can't really afford if you want to win this round or try
Yes.
to win this round, you can't afford to hedge there. But you're up 4-3 or whatever,
Uh-huh.
like you can afford to
Exactly.
take your time. Yeah.
Exactly. The pros versus cons, like, I mean, the risk reward doesn't make
Yeah.
sense, right? Pretending like no one's sewers, it doesn't net you anything other than getting to site a tiny bit faster, but that doesn't really accomplish much, right? But the risk is dying without doing a single point of damage to him. So, and this is the thing. We just want to err on the side of caution. We want to stay alive. We want to do this and that, right? Stay alive. If it's possible, play like they're there. Obviously, you know, sometimes I contradict myself, but for the reasons you said, right?
Yeah.
The risk
yeah,
reward
no.
is always a real thing.
Play the odds.
Exactly.
One enemy.
Okay, so this is something that someone should never ever do, right?
Just swing short.
Yeah, no reason. Let them come into you guys, 2v1 with your teammates. And like this, do you think Sova should take this fight long?
Absolutely not. No one can treat him.
Absolutely not. Because the difference between that and Sova hiding behind this box, Sage hiding right here, and you in this corner, and then Phoenix comes around this corner, he is dead 3 different ways, right?
Yeah, there's like 100% chance
Exactly.
that like it doesn't matter if that's Hiko. Like
Exactly.
he's not winning that.
And that's what we want to put every single enemy in the position in, where it's unwinnable for them because we play smarter.
Mhm.
And this is why aim isn't as big of a deal as people think. It's the fights they take, the positioning, their brains, right? Because, like you said, Hiko would lose this scenario 1,000,000% out all the time.
Yep.
If you guys play this diligently.
Remaining.
But people
They
get
just swing
they
the-
get overzealous. They want to kill, but just like people at the Plats, the Golds, even Diamonds, they have problem with this. They get impatient. No one plays the bomb. No one trades. No one plays off each other. No one is patient. They don't let them come into the trap that you set. And it loses rounds.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of players have a hard time understanding who has the initiative and
Yes.
like who has to
Yes.
blink first.
That's very true. Very, very true.
Mm.
So this smoke you did CT is actually a mistake.
Because I think do I say that it's bad
Let me see.
or you're saying just in general?
In general, like it's not like a micro mistake. It's like it's just in the wrong spot. It has to be here.
Really?
Has to.
Huh. I
Because-
was always under the impression that. Oh, I'm sorry. So I was always under the impression that you would want it to be flush, to isolate as much or to not give them more space. Because if they can push out into the smoke, then they have more opportunity to, like basically they have more space that they can swing from, as opposed to there being like a clear, flat line that they can swing out of.
But the problem lies where it is a good idea what you're saying, But in functionality and what actually happens in games is they swing, they hug this wall right here, they swing this. And they get this fight or this fight for free. Backside can't trade, long can't trade, and sight can't trade.
Oh, okay. So you
You're
basically
giving them
give
a
them
pocket.
yeah, you give them more space and less space simultaneously
Yes.
because
Yes.
of where your teammates are positioned on
Yes.
the map. Yeah. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense.
So when you smoke right here, they have to, when they step out of the smoke, they're exposed to back sight, logs, here, and a sight guy that can peek maybe. Right? They're in a lot worse of a spot. But
Yeah.
if you throw this deep smoke, they will 1,000,000% of the time swing this far one and get a 1v1 by someone.
Yeah, like
Yes.
basically allows them to isolate fights
Yep.
that you don't, which is the last thing you want.
And almost no one can watch that smoke. And even if you're back sight, you can't see this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Your garage smoke was fine.
Garages.
Perfectly fine. Well, you want the garage smoke, you never I'm not saying you did it, but you never ever wanted to do this. You never wanted to jut out. This needs to be a wall. The second this smoke juts out just a little bit, you give them a pocket right here. People that smoke like this, trash. Because guy that walks out garage can do this without this corner guy seeing. And they can get here in this corner without sight
Anyone
seeing.
else? Yeah.
This side seeing, right?
You just end up catching people off guard because you give them more
Yes.
space, and you effectively create a wall
Yep.
instead of
Yep.
isolating them.
You're giving them pockets. You're giving them walkout
Yeah.
smokes. So this one's good. No pockets created. Good kill. Don't do this. We get this kill. If anyone was close by,
I just die because I'm reloading.
We're reloading and peeking. And we get a free kill. Boom. Advantage got. Right?
Yeah.
5v4. Let's throw it all away by continuing to peek. I get this kill. I take my advantage. And I run with my team. Because, let's say you die here or here. Boom. Neutralize the advantage. Now it's 4v4. So
I guess, yeah. I mean, we have a massive advantage, right? And I guess 4v4 we're still slightly advantaged.
Oh, absolutely, because you already have the sight and sight control.
Yeah.
Yes, but remember, we want to do everything in our power to ensure these rounds and do not trust these 4 people to do the right thing. They're nothing to us. We do everything in our power. Well, okay, this is supposed to be you.
Yeah, I got the gist.
But do everything in your power to win the round. Okay?
For
And
sure.
I don't know how you knew. Let me see. How did you know that garage? Okay, the drone.
Garage.
Drone everything. Okay, never mind.
Window.
Just lose that fight. 96 on her though.
Why did we lose the fight?
I didn't expect her to be in the corner, right?
I mean, she's not even the one that killed you, right?
I thought she was, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it was just a 2v1. It was just
Exactly.
a bad position, and they knew where I was.
Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of just, if I just take it slow and go long, like, they have to, it's gonna be at least 10 seconds before they are like, okay, Omen's definitely not sitting outside the door waiting for a timing.
But there's even more to it than that. They don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
You are creating this fear that you could be garage, but you are just playing the advantage and grouping up with your team so you do not get numbered on. right?
They also don't know if I'm like wrapping back through B.
Exactly.
There's so many variables,
You
and I
have to
just
be
run at them.
unpredictable. They
Yeah.
they pinged you here because you killed their teammate. So their logical sense is going to tell them, oh, he's going to come in garage. And guess what? You did. And they 2v1'd you. They exploited your predictability. See? Instead of taking the free kill that we got, that we worked hard for, and taking that advantage and letting it flourish, and making it so difficult for them to retake 5v4, we neutralized our advantage by dying. By running out, being predictable, and dying.
Yeah, because in my head, I even feel like I was thinking like, oh, they're not gonna expect this, and
But when you
it's so
slow it
bad.
down and you think, okay, this is so obvious of me, right?
Yeah, it's just like if I just play sight, and then if
Yeah.
I'm just there to get traded on, that's
Yep.
just
Much
so much better.
so much stronger, so much safer, and it probably ensures the round, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people, they want more. They get the free kill and they're like, oh, maybe I can get another, right? Instead of just backing out, taking that advantage, and not walking into what they think you're going to do. Make sense?
Yeah. Absolutely.
One enemy remaining.
So they win it regardless, but you never know if you could have saved the Jet's life, or you don't know how the round's going to play out. You never ever do.
Look at me.
Okay, bonusing. Okay, you guys made noise. You guys are like contacting and making noise here. Now you guys just have to explode. Okay, so as an Omen player, and I wouldn't say waste both smokes to do these smokes every single round, but one of them every single round. Every single round. Because, for example, I don't think you've done this smoke before, have you?
I do it occasionally. I lean heavily towards the C long because I like to try to sheepdog whoever has like the best ulti into getting the orb,
Okay.
assess the round, and then go from there without giving up a bunch of map control.
Great.
But what I've noticed a lot is like if I do the A smoke, people start hovering around A, and
Yep.
then they just make noise off rip to where it's pointless.
Yep.
And then I'm also short of smoke when we inevitably rush up A.
Yep.
And
Okay.
then sometimes even the C smoke, like we have 5 people all going for the like all sitting on orb trying to peek a smoke that I'm like, all right, I guess I shouldn't have put the smoke here. And we also give up map control, so A, B, garage, everybody can push up, and it's incredibly frustrating.
So here's the thing about this A smoke. This goes for ciphers. This goes for jets. Anyone that can smoke this cross, even fucking Phoenix Wall. Do not do it sporadically. Do not do it once. Do not do it twice. If you're going to do it every single time. Because if you never do this smoke, A long sees this smoke. What are they gonna say?
They're up to something.
They're up to something, so come A, right? There's probably
Yeah.
going to be A. They never...
Especially if we're doing the C smoke a lot, then they're gonna know we're not playing for orbs, so we're not on that side of the map.
We can't be predictable. So what we do is, if we smoke this every single round, they're not going to comment. Omen smoked A again. They're going to do it every single round, right? So they never know if you're actually walking into short A or not. They don't know because you do it every single round. So the same thing with C thing here, right? Sure, they can hear the thing, but you can make plays based off this. Let's say you smoke C every single round. Okay, on the 4th round you do it. Your whole team walks up C, they walk into the smoke, they flash out and explode onto site from here. And you win a round because of it. Okay? Now, every single time you smoke top C, they're going to be scared, right?
Yeah.
You want to do the same effect for A. You walk the whole way, explode onto A. So now they know, oh, okay, so they can do that. I'm scared of that. Right?
Mhm.
But for this to work, this has to be smoked every round, or this has to be smoked every round. If you
So you just
don't-
have to pick one.
you have to pick one and and get the other person to do the other. Like Jet should smoke this. You smoke top C. Because if you're not smoking top C guy looks long, it's like, okay, smoke A. This guy's coming. But if you smoke top C, and based on your previous play, like, oh, maybe they could be exploding here any second. I have to watch it. So he keeps the C guy anchored. One less rotation to A. But no sound, no orb, nothing. This guy's pre-rotating, you know. So this is just some strategy ideas. It's not necessarily your gameplay that's in question here, but this is just overall strategy and what how I like to play Haven.
No, I mean it definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yes, and as an Omen, you should be conditioning your teammates to normalize smokes that can win you rounds later. Pull them out as weapons later. Set them up as weapons later. Right?
Yeah, it's like, you know, priming something for,
Exactly.
you know, 4 rounds in, and you're like, all right,
Yep.
boys, I haven't pushed the smoke. Let's go.
Yep.
Blocking sight. Feeling sight.
You condition them to be for that smoke to be normal. To where no one's over rotating because of it, no one's doing anything special because of it. That's just the round.
All playing really long.
Enemy spotted A.
Okay, so
Bad flash.
bad flash, why?
Yeah. It was just in a weird direction.
Yep, and
No one can play off of it.
exactly. What do we get from it? Again,
Nothing.
we
I just lit
stall-
$400 on fire.
Stall 1 second, 2 seconds,
Yeah.
2 maybe, right? So, is that worth the $400?
Definitely not.
But how much better is them piling through this skinny doorway, you playing sight, you flash this, and then peek when they're like standing here, here, here.
And then I also have like Jet to play off it from hell.
Yes, exactly. With flashes, when you're playing defensively, I know you're on offense right now, but when you plant the bomb, you turn to the defense side. Okay? When you're playing defensively with your flashes, you set the trap, which is patience. This is a trap. A positional trap for the enemy team. You let them walk through the trap. When they're past the point of no return,
Spring it.
spring it. And then you harvest.
Longer.
But here, we did a bad flash. We felt like we had to capitalize on it, and all we did was take a bad fight here. Yes,
Yeah,
you
we-
won it, but
It
All playing really long.
no, the risk reward doesn't make sense.
Longer.
This Reyna could have been 2 people.
Yeah, there like I think I saw like a Sage and a Reyna on the
Yeah.
map. And
That-
I'm also outgunned. It's
That Reyna could have had full HP as well. We're lucky that he was lit. It was only him, and this is where inconsistencies lie. Where sometimes you think, "Oh, I woke up and today I'm playing bad." No, it's because we do unsafe things like this. Sometimes it works because of certain situations and coincidence, but against better players, it won't work, and you'll actually die here. And you'll be like, "Oh, it's just unlucky day today." Or I'm just so flip-flop, you know? My gameplay is so, it's just, sometimes I wake up feeling great, sometimes I wake up and I'm bad. But it's
Yeah.
because we're doing unsafe things in nature.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
I've always wondered like how to improve consistency.
And it's just by
like,
playing safer. We don't want to, because we have so many variables, right? When we miss the flash and we wide swing into nothing, the variables are, what guns do they have? How much HP do they have? How many people are swinging me? Right?
how good are their
how
shots
good-
gonna be?
Exactly. So many variables we're adding,
Yeah.
but with us playing sight and them walking in, we delete so many of those variables and neutralize so much of that, where we take the safest, highest percentage play. Make sense? Like I'm saying, if Hiko was pushing through this wall, does it matter who it is? If you flash them and then spray them down?
No.
Absolutely not. They're screwed. Every play we want to do, we want to make sure it could work against Hikos.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. To where it doesn't matter how much
Yes.
better they are mechanically or
Yes.
aim-wise.
You use your brain to neutralize any advantage.
Last play.
Shadows travel.
Who ended up killing me there? Is
The
it
person pushing CT, we saw her gun. She's right there, 1,000,000%. Right? So, if we are graffiti, this is not our... We don't care about long. We don't care about that. Our number one threat in our job is this.
That's my smoke, right? Yeah, with the 26
Yeah.
seconds. I think I did that to just create an angle or like a something else to play around, I guess.
It's not the worst thing in the world, but how much better of a smoke would this been?
1,000 times.
Yeah, and then they dry peek your smoke and you get a free kill.
Mm.
Yeah, we're like...
Yep, I
we
just saw
lose
the
our-
stage there.
We lose our...
Enemy spotted A.
We lose our like patience, and we feel like we're picking new fights where we don't need to.
Hmm.
When our job is just to keep it simple, stupid, watch what we're watching, and wait, right?
But
We-
because of this, like, the Sage gets a free kill on me, and it's pretty likely that she kills the Jet, and then at which point we are in a 2v1.
Yep, and
More than likely. Assuming that, Jet doesn't kill the Phoenix, but that's just like an unnecessary risk.
yeah,
Player standing.
exactly.
One enemy remains.
So now it's a 1v1. Now, if the Reyna does something stupid and loses the 1v1, what do you think four random people are going to be like? I mean, people are nice.
More often, yeah,
But-
NT.
Yeah, NT, but
Yeah.
they're gonna be. You guys are gonna be upset or disappointed that he didn't win the 1v1, and you feel like, oh my god, Reyna, it's your fault we lost this round.
And even then, the Sage has a better gun. She has range. Reyna is not favored in this fight.
Exactly, and she loses the 1v1, and this is all we see is like, oh my god, Reyna is just bad, and we just can't clutch it, right? But it was our fault.
Yeah. I even realized that I literally, it is entirely my fault that this round went
Yes.
from,
Yes.
80% win to,
Yes.
1%, chance to win
Yeah,
in a
Right.
matter of seconds. That's crazy.
It's crazy to think, and people will just hyper fixate on this moment right here, and just be like, "Oh, it's just because Reyna didn't clutch."
Yeah. You need to hit your shots, kid.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
smart people think, "What could we have done that could have won the round?" This Sage is the last one alive, and that person was our responsibility to kill because they came from where we were watching. But we
Yeah.
played that so poorly that they walked through that tiny little gap for free and killed us for free.
Dang. This feels bad. I
Feels
mean,
bad,
so
right?
Reyna clutched, but
But
Reyna should have never had to be in that position.
exactly. But us as players, we look at this moment and be like, "Nice, we did everything right that round because we
Yeah.
won."
Perfect
Right?
round.
But look how many mistakes we made, and this is where the inconsistencies come from. We put our teammates in a position that they have to win the clutch.
The best part is I'm probably like, oh yeah, I got a 2K, I got mine, and
I got
next
mine.
round. Yeah.
Right, but you see how much more we could do and how easily it is done.
Yeah. That's wild.
Behind.
It's mind opening, where you could win a round, but I've done everything wrong, right?
Mm-hmm. Just ego peeked everything and just happened to hit your shot.
and not learn anything from it, because we got that round win. I must have done something right. I don't analyze myself. So that footstep right here was a mistake.
I can't hear sounds.
Yeah,
so,
I know, but
Okay.
whenever you're coming down, your idea is to be sneaky and flank the garage players, right?
Mm.
That footstep ruins everything. Better players from garage, if they're here or here, they hear that and then they wait, or they peek garage right here and kill you because of that one footstep. right?
You
So-
think the line then is if I mess up here, make a misstep, they hear me, I should then
Yes.
start heading along
Yes.
immediately.
Or you sit here, you flash it, and then peek, right? But that's a more aggressive play. I don't think you should. I don't think it's too late to go long now. It would take a while, and you could be more of a pain in the ass by just flashing garage and like peeking it. I wouldn't necessarily go in garage unless this wall's broken, but because like I'm saying, pretend like you're against Hiko. What, does Hiko just ignore that footstep that he heard? No. Better players won't, right? Some players will be like, oh, what was that? I don't care. I have a bomb to defuse. That's not going to happen.
You end up buying so much time too, because even if a good player hears it, right?
Yes.
Like
They're worried
their
about
logic is, okay, we have to worry about that, and there's going to be a certain amount of time until they either say, okay, he wrapped around, or
I have to
he
peek him.
like, or they have to devote a resource to it,
Yes,
and
yes.
clear it, and then you've just bomb timer's 40
Exactly.
seconds. You just bought yourself 5.
Exactly. So Gorilla
Right.
stomping out here and like throwing a flash and like TPing or just TPing in place, and you just being a thorn in their side has very good value. Right. But in this case, they don't hear your footstep and they don't play off of it, and
Enemy
it's okay.
remaining.
But we could have been punished for it very easily.
Which is something where like I'm like, oh cool, played that round perfectly.
Exactly,
But like in
exactly.
actuality, like there's just so much info and so much.
Exactly. 'Cause you make
get
that
from that.
footstep, guy in garage hears it, they're like, wait, oh, he's coming, like, he just holds garage. And then you walk into his crosshair and die, and you're like, how? Why is he holding that? Right?
We survived.
Get out of my way.
So that's good. That's good. You're keeping that A smoke consistent. It's very good.
Get out of my way.
This is the 3rd round that I've done it now.
Yeah, that's good. Second you throw the smoke, it's over. So you have to wait, right? And it's fine. Jet by yourself, going long, not good. 3-2 split always. Just a trade, right? So you're waiting. This is very good. Now explode, explode, explode. No reason to walk anymore. The second you let that that smoke rip, you explode.
Remove.
No charges.
I'm in for short.
And to avoid team flashing, tell them what you're gonna flash.
Yeah, I definitely don't calm that enough.
Yeah, no, you
You're
have to be very
absolutely right.
very vocal about your flashes. If you tell your team what you're flashing and they get team flashed, it's on them.
Joke's over. You're dead.
I also get mad whenever Phoenixes or whatever
Yep.
don't say anything,
Yep.
and for me to have that stance, I have to,
Yep.
abide by the same rule.
Heaven.
One enemy remaining.
Last one take 140. She saved me.
Gonna be fun.
Here.
Okay, you say what you're smoking. You say what you flash.
Enemy spotted C.
Cover going out.
Your season is not over.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? What can you
Yeah.
do? And that happens. But you adjusted, and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna team flash it.
Garage.
I need to unbind my fucking mouse wheel
Yeah.
so I don't
Last player.
do what I've been doing. It's got to be at least 200 times in this 27 minutes. It's just like, what if someone peeks like right then? I am in no way ready.
Exactly. Yeah, slow it down just a little bit. But this is a common case of over-aggressing. Just not holding angles, not waiting for them to come into the trap, which is your defense. This is very common. Everyone's just like running it down. This fight, should we have taken it?
No one can trade me.
No one can trade you. The bomb is not.
They have the initiative, yeah.
The bomb is nowhere near being diffused, right? No one can do it. This is your win condition. This exploding. The win condition of killing them all is a bait. This, trying to kill them all to win, bad. Trying to make bomb explode, good. Okay? Ook ook.
Last player standing.
God, and I lose the fight too.
Yeah. Okay, so the movement here was pretty bad for this gunfight.
Last player.
So we're almost there with the burst counter strafe burst.
Am I
What?
doing it too fast?
Your bursts?
Yeah, or like, because I have a really bad problem. I've been trying to use the Phantom more recently, and when I use the Vandal, it feels a lot more consistent. But sometimes with the Phantom, I think I'm either shooting like 3-bullet bursts and I'm moving mid burst, so I'm not getting the full reset, or I'm just mistiming my counter strafe
Yes.
with the shot.
Yep. It's a little
And
bit
it
too
just-
fast. But
Yeah.
the problem here is our movement. I mean, our shot, yeah, obviously could use work, but our movement.
Standing.
So we are bursting and counter strafing, but look at the size of our counter strafes and look at how far we actually go with our counter strafes.
Long.
Last player.
We're essentially standing still because we're micro counter strafing, right? We're like wiggling almost. But wiggling at that point is a hindrance to us because it throws off our shot. We burst, counter strafe, burst to stay alive and to reset. While our reticle is resetting,
Standing.
we're repositioning to make it harder for us to hit.
Long.
Last.
Because
I'm just basically standing in place
yeah, exactly.
to them.
If you look at your first counter strafe you did was very good, and he whiffed. Like, watch.
Long.
You see the very first one you do. You see the bullets fly past the right side of your head.
Yeah.
Long.
That huge counter strafe you did to the left, and he just shot where you were. If you did this right now, back to the right, and then reburst him, you probably win the fight. Not because of aim, because of you staying alive, right? This is why movement is important in gunfights.
Last player standing.
And our shooting was just a little bit too fast. It was like a galloping horse, and we need to slow it down just a little bit with our burst counter, especially when they're that far away.
Don't wait numbers. Anything can still happen.
Do you have a preference on Phantom versus Vandal?
Vandal gang.
Really?
Yeah,
I wanna believe that the Vandal, because the Vandal feels so much better for me, like 9 times out of 10. But like I just feel that the consistency you get sometimes out of the Phantom is better, and seeing obviously pros and stuff err towards the Phantom is
if I played this game for money and I was in a tournament, I'd only play Phantom.
really okay.
Yeah, not a doubt in my mind. Vandal, first bullet accuracy bad, less bullets, harder to spread out a whole team or multiple people.
I also play smokes too, so
exactly
being able to have the tracer, I think
these
is
are very good
incredibly
points, right? But I am Vandal gang because when I shoot someone in the head, I want
It
them to
feels
die.
so good.
I
Oh
want
god,
them
it feels
to
so
die.
good.
If I shoot someone in the head for 140 and I die, I want to quit the game. So for those reasons, I play Vandal. But if I played for money, I would only use Phantom. I do think the Phantom is just better.
Yeah, nothing beats a Vandal headshot. Like,
Nothing.
God, it's just up
Nothing.
there.
Such a good feeling.
especially the quick like swing corner, one tap, counter strafe. Ugh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So we hear a flank right now. We're in a pretty good spot, but we have to make sure.
Last player standing.
Oof.
That just feels a little
Last
bad.
player standing.
It's a difficult shot. I don't blame.
I think
you
I
for
was
this.
moving. I don't think I hit the strafe
Last
right.
player
Yeah,
standing.
I think we counter strafed him properly here. Yeah, it's okay. Not too bad. The main problem here is necessarily when you do take a position like this, right? When they're planting on C.
Mm-hmm.
We have to make sure that they don't die before we can get anything. Because if they both die, our position is trash. Right? We are
I have a smoke.
relying on them to live. We have a smoke. You could definitely help them somehow. Right? But I know this guy is keeping you here. This guy coming through window. You hear him gorilla stomping, and that's fine. But
Last player standing.
yeah, after killing this Phoenix, which you should have done, this is a save because we can't make it to the bomb site, and it's just we'd be throwing our life away. But when we are baiting our teammates and lurking this hard, we have to make sure that we're effective somehow, like and make sure that their speed of taking the site doesn't go faster than you being a thorn in their side, right? Like I would have probably jumped into window and try to take that fight early, and then try to help out my team quickly. Like get your free kill because of your lurk, and then go help. Because this happens a lot, and this is the pros and cons of lurking, is when they just push the site really hard, the lurker will always just be in such a bad spot, and he'll look like a big baiter. Not bad, though. I mean, even if you got that kill, you lose the round.
I have the spike. Enemy spotted B.
Joke's over!
We see we got lazy, right?
Now they know that it's not an A.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See?
You're dead!
You have to be
Push
on
it.
top of it.
That flash seemed kind of wasteful.
We didn't communicate it. It didn't really accomplish anything. Right. See, now I mean you can now see the mentality behind good Omen flashes, and you see your own flashes, and you can pretty much, for now on, you can coach your own flashes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's good. It's very good. Always look introspectively. Always think about what you could be doing differently.
Cover going out. Shadows traveling.
One spawn. Two spawn. Pushing garage.
Angle's trash now because it's a 1v1. Right? So now,
Yeah.
seeing this, I leave. Right? Because look, if they peek CT, right, they have help. If they peek garage, you don't have help. But if they walk out of garage, oop, you have help again. Crossfire. Right. So
Dash on top of the wall.
at first you were peeking this to help the Reyna, right?
Yeah.
Now the Reyna's not even helping herself, so why are you helping? You know? You're helping no one. Now you're the one in the bad spot.
One enemy remaining.
Good swing by the Reyna, but we don't want to rely on our teammates doing the right thing. We want to make it easier for the higher percentage. Because not everyone will swing if that was the Reyna. It's good.
Yeah,
of
but
her.
I can control where
Yes.
I'm at.
Yes. Exactly. You can't control what the Reyna does, but you can make it obvious where if someone's in front of this Reyna's face, she's going to shoot.
Mhm.
And that's just our positioning.
That's a super good point.
You can only control yourself.
Enemy spotted A.
Now we're running it down A. I guess that was the strat, but we just wasted a smoke here, right? Kind of different ideas going on, and we're just
Yeah, I
kinda
think I
YOLOing.
did the garage smoke as like the default, but they had already made noise and stuff.
True, true, true.
Did I calm that flash at all? I assume not.
I mean, it's not the end of the world if you don't. It's really not. I mean, me, I'm a very vocal person, so I would. But I'm not going to beat someone up for not calming that one.
I'm mostly just curious, like how bad it is, because I mean, I believe it is helpful.
Oh, yeah.
In your camp there, so it's just like it's like catching myself, doing a bad habit.
I feel ya. But here you can make the argument that what is this flash for?
Yeah, I think it was I don't know actually. Maybe to catch them walking into sight. I
Okay.
also saw that and thought that one, did I comment, and two, was it even good?
Exactly.
Based on where my teammates were.
Exactly, because that's clear. That corner is clear. You're like flushing out that corner and CT, but this corner is clear, and they would have been able to see the dude CT anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this flash would have been 10 times better if your teammates were like right here. And
About to swing. Yeah.
About to swing, and they don't have info. But you threw the flash when they're basically already on site. Like, look.
Close right.
Cover going out.
They're already on site, and now you're throwing the flash. If anyone was there, they would have made
They'd be
contact
dead.
with them.
Yeah.
Right. They would be fighting them already.
And now I just like don't have a flash that could be incredibly good for post plant.
Exactly.
One
And
enemy
obviously I don't
remaining.
get punished this round, but
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Consistent, smart play. Wondering always if this flash was good or not. Even like if it worked, did it work for the right reasons? Right.
Mhm.
Always try to learn. Always pick apart the play. And see if there was any room for improvement. Even if it worked, even if it failed. Even if something fails, you could have done something right. And it failed. Does it make it wrong? No. Do you just need to hit your shot sometimes? Yes.
Example of that would be like the 4v1 where you were like, you got to go fast here. And
Exactly.
if I go fast and someone's,
Yep,
playing, in our
exactly.
spawn.
Yep, exactly.
Clear.
Enemy spotted C.
And even if you ran and died to someone in the corner, was it the right play? Yes. Because, I mean, it was the right play if you are under the impression that you have to win the round, right?
Yep.
Because you have to go fast. You need to kill 3 and defuse. And even to harp on that point a little bit, you have to kill 3 and defuse, but when you start killing them, they crawl deeper into their holes. Right? Like, let's say there's 3 people up. You kill their, let's say, their courage is at 100%, right? Because it's 3v1.
Yeah.
Okay, you kill one of them. Uh-oh. Drops to like 70% courage. Okay, you kill another one. Oh shit, it's at 20% courage. And
Yeah.
now he's gonna play the bomb. Right?
Yep.
So it takes even longer time to kill the last 3, so it just gets deeper and deeper, and you need even more time than you think.
Spike planted.
Watch them run.
Healer's down.
Cover going
Yeah,
out.
I mean, you guys killed the 2 from pushing. This is just free. This is just a free round, as is. That smoke. How do we feel about these smokes?
I think for I think they're bad. Like, I can't really punish them if they push through
True,
them. They have
exactly.
to push through them to win the round.
Exactly, and that's the only point. Like, now we can watch it, but watching this smoke is tough because they can creep out this side. They could even be against this wall. We wouldn't even know. They could pop
Yeah.
up right in front of our face without even knowing, right? What would be better smokes? And we can't even watch this. So what would be better smokes, you think?
Probably for my team, I would assume, like CT, or CT definitely, since I can't watch that, and then maybe even like another, maybe just one like in the CT choke point, if that makes sense.
I would throw that if they broke the wall.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, there's a wall there too. I mean, I don't even know if I need to actually waste the time to use them.
There's one good one, right here.
Really? The
Yeah.
one just like right there in heaven to stop
Right
them
here.
from pushing heaven?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, right in front.
Yeah, you just sit on top of the stairs heaven and you wait for them to push the heaven.
Okay.
Simple, right? There's so many angles over here, like you don't even know. You cut off all of these angles by forcing them into a funnel. You're just watching this hallway. By smoking this, you watch the smoke. If they walk through it, easy kill.
Hmm.
Right, but here, they can be here. It's just tough, right? And if they break, if nothing pushes through your smoke heaven, that means you successfully cut off heaven. They're forced to funnel through CT, and then you throw a smoke CT. If they break the wall, you know?
Yeah.
Now we're just over aggressing. Confidence is high. We get the kill. It's fine.
12,
Okay.
10.
Yep. So we smoked that. It's good. We're kind of playing an aggressive default. This is okay, honestly. It's not bad. This is just a difficult angle. Because
I feel like I over peaked there. Like I could have, because I think I have angle advantage, right? Where I should be able to see him before he can see me.
yeah.
So-
So this angle is difficult because especially when a number of seconds have passed where they could actually be at the different head levels. Like all of these lines are different head levels
Yeah.
because it's a slope, right? So this is why this is difficult, especially at the beginning of the round. It's not difficult because there's only one.
Mhm.
But if we don't watch that angle the whole time, the head levels change like this. Right? So how do we make it so we only have one head level?
You don't watch lobby, or you just watch the lobby exit and not the entire, like, yeah, right here.
Exactly.
That's the choke point. You don't watch the multiple
Exactly.
angles. Yeah.
Whenever, and this is true for every single map, whenever you're in a position where there's a bunch of different head levels and you like, oh, this is hard, how do people do it?
They don't.
They don't. They funnel them into an easier angle. Because looking down there and looking right here is the same thing. It accomplishes the same thing, right?
Mhm.
We're just watching the A push. But we're making it easier for ourselves because we're smarter.
Yeah. I was like, let's play this round on hard mode. And,
Exactly.
you know, I died.
Exactly.
Must I do everything?
And you win. Okay, good job. But that angle thing is true for like lots of different things. If you are peeking an angle that has multiple heights and headshot angles, you want to shoulder peek. You don't want to just commit to that. You want to see what you see, right?
Mm.
Because you don't want to overcommit to that because it's very, very scary and very hard to deal with. And this happens a lot. It's like peeking mid on certain maps. I'm trying to think of a popular example. Okay, on Haven. Yeah, it's the same map, but you're peeking window to B site. Right? They could be on. You're in window. You're on attacking side. You peek window and to look B.
Oh yeah, they can be on
top of the
Jenny,
on
left, right.
left, right, down the stairs, creeped up. That's a difficult angle, and at most, you're at a disadvantage. Imagine if the other team is holding the angle at window. There's one headshot angle and one place you can be, right?
Yeah, they're super favored.
It's super favored. That's why you always, always, always have to flash that window because of that reason. And you can find these situations everywhere on every map.
That's super interesting. I didn't even think about that, where it's like, what are the spots where like you're not. I mean, it also has to do with timing though too, right?
Exactly.
Like where you're talking about
Exactly.
A short. It's like A short timing. They can only be one spot. That's fine.
Yep.
Swinging window, but like swinging window mid round.
It could be anywhere.
15 seconds. Yeah, it's just, and then you could also get peeked from garage if people aren't holding.
Exactly. It's just I know I'm just expanding your mind with all this random stuff, but
no, I mean
this
these
is
are
why I
awesome
recorded it
concepts.
so you can like rewatch it or just like, oh, what did you say about this, and then go back again. But yeah, very very important stuff to help you just live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Living is just so important because it sets you up for future kills, you know. All right. Well,
Yeah.
do you have any questions for me?
No. I mean, you really put an emphasis on something that like I think I've been lazy about. I knew about the idea of like thinking about what your opponent's gonna do, and a lot of times I've mostly just been playing from my side.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like you kind of pigeonhole yourself, and
Yep,
it's like super
definitely.
easy to get stuck.
Yeah.
Also, just like the consistency thing where I'm like, man, how come some games I'm like,
Yes.
this feels so easy. I have like 25 kills, and other games I'm like, dude, I'm like 2-11 at the half. What
Yep.
is going on?
Yep.
And it's just there's so many variables. It's likely
Mm-hmm.
just getting punished more
Exactly.
than you normally are.
Always remember how to put the enemy in a team to where even if they're a Hiko, they lose, and that can fix a lot of problems. But yeah, if you do have any questions that you forgot to ask me, you could always shoot me a DM, and I'll always answer.
Cool. Well, I appreciate it, man. This
Hey.
was super in depth, way more than I would have expected.